Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our News Watch unit for the month of March, and today we've got a couple of news stories to talk about with you. These are about something to do with, let's see, the first one is about trying to figure out if somebody has Alzheimer's disease by looking at their writing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
A very useful topic for some of us who have older grandparents or parents or ourselves who are, faced with aging and might have dementia and things like that. And the other story is about nudity, okay? Are people ashamed of the human body? I guess they're not so ashamed in Denmark, and they've got this TV show with nudity on it.
There is a Danish TV show that's showing kids between the ages of 12 and 13 these nude people, and asking them to take a look at the bodies and give them feedback. They think it's helping the kids get over this body beautiful thing where all kids seem to grow up with these magazines that make everyone look perfect. And so they think that they're the only ones who don't have a perfect shape. And that's just not true.
Indeed. So, of course, we can approach that problem from different directions, and that's, of course, up to all of you to discuss amongst yourselves. But let's get to it. Let's find out what these two news stories are all about. Let's read today's lesson, and we'll be right back to discuss it. Writing test could detect brain disorder. Writing clearly and well is a vital skill. Someday, someone's writing could even be used to diagnose them with Alzheimer's disease or other forms of dementia. At present, tests for diseases of this nature are uncomfortable for patients as they require the drawing of spinal fluid. A powerful partnership between two manufacturers, IBM and Pfizer, hopes to offer an alternative. Their proposed writing test is promising because it can be applied to a sample of a patient's writing at any time, even before signs of cognitive decline. IBM and Pfizer are working on an artificial intelligence AI model that can currently predict with 74% accuracy whether a healthy person will develop Alzheimer's. While this is cause for optimism, Dr. Oscar Lopez of the University of Pittsburgh Alzheimer's Disease Research Center finds it unlikely that this testing model will be available anytime soon. After all, developing usable, reliable data from long-term studies is not a quick process. For the time being, blood tests are also being researched, and they are cheaper and less invasive than the current tests.
Danish kids show sparks debate over how it teaches kids body positivity. An award-winning Danish TV show has sparked controversy online for teaching kids about body positivity. Ultra Strips Down allows an audience of kids aged between 12 and 13 years old to question a group of naked volunteers about their body image. The show's host, Yannick Show, argues that online, kids are already bombarded daily with unrealistic images of bodies. Ultra Strips Down, he says, shows them what real bodies look like, with parental permission. Ultra Strips Down is extremely popular in Denmark. Online, however, some social media users have slammed the show as disgusting and destroying children. Still, embracing nudity, as Denmark does, may actually be very beneficial. A comparative 2010 study of body positivity in the UK and Denmark revealed that 50% of Danish students were happy with their bodies, versus 30% in the UK. Nonetheless, it remains an unlikely scenario that shows like Ultra Strips Down would achieve similar success in other countries.
Okay, let's dive into our lesson for today. Again, we've got a couple of news stories. So we'll talk about the first one first. It's all about your writing style and whether that could say or tell doctors that you're going to suffer from Alzheimer's disease or some other kind of dementia in the future when you get older. Is that possible? I guess it might be possible, but does seem kind of far-fetched, actually, but let's get into this here. A writing test could detect a brain disorder. Okay, so here in the first paragraph it says, writing clearly and well is a vital skill.
So what is vital? That's a vocabulary word. If something's vital, it's absolutely necessary. You must have it. It's really important. A similar word, a synonym of vital would be essential. Air is essential. Water is vital for us to continue living. We can actually go without food for quite a while, but we can't go without water. So someday, someone's writing could even be used to diagnose them with Alzheimer's disease or other forms of dementia. A lot of the elderly population start losing their memories. Even my father, who has a pretty amazing memory, is starting to forget names of people when we're talking. So even those who manage to hold on to a lot of their memory skills start to forget things. But Alzheimer's disease is pretty aggressive. You don't just start to lose your memory. Your organs start to shut down. They don't function anymore, and that's why you die. So dementia is just a name we put to when people lose their memory, and some people can be quite young and get Alzheimer's disease.
And Alzheimer's, I believe, is a form of dementia when you're just losing the ability to use your mind like you did when you were younger. You forget things, you remember things incorrectly, stuff like that.
It does affect the organs in your body, though.
Okay, it can as well. So at present, tests for diseases of this nature are uncomfortable for patients as they require the drawing of spinal fluid. So you got to get some kind of liquid out of your spine.
That hurts.
And that can be very painful. So yeah, if you want to have this test done, be prepared for a little bit of pain. And hopefully this test can be done in a more pleasant way or less painful form. And a powerful partnership between two manufacturers, IBM and Pfizer, hopes to offer an alternative. An alternative is just another way of doing something.
Yeah, it's another choice. You could say IBM and Pfizer hope to offer another option, another choice, an alternative. Those are all good words. I could say, I'm going to dinner tonight, and instead of eating rice, I'm going to choose an alternative. This time, I'm going to eat noodles. So an alternative is a different choice. Their proposed writing test is promising, which just means it looks like it's going to be successful or useful because it can be applied to a sample of a patient's writing at any time, even before signs of cognitive decline. When you see that word cognitive, it's a word we see when we're talking about the brain or the mind in science and scientific terms, you could say. So it's good that they can look at the writing even before you actually start, showing some of the symptoms of dementia.
Here in the second paragraph, it says, IBM and Pfizer are working on an artificial intelligence or AI model that can currently predict with 74% accuracy whether a healthy person will develop Alzheimer's. So that's what these two companies are working on together. Again, they're trying to reach some state or some condition of accuracy. That's a noun. It just refers to how accurate something is, how correct it is.
Yeah, that's the noun form. The adjective form is accurate. So you could say they're wanting this to be able to have 74% accuracy or be 74% accurate. So hopefully it works out. I don't know if I'd want to know if I was going to have Alzheimer's or dementia when I was like 35. I don't want to know. Well, this is cause for optimism, which means that hope that people have inside them, that's optimism. If it's the opposite, it's pessimism. And if you're kind of in the middle, then, you're a realist, so you just kind of take life and go with what you have. If someone's optimistic, that is the adjective form of the noun optimism. It's good to be optimistic. You look at life and see that things are good. Even when things are kind of hard around you, you still have a lot of hope. Here's Dr. Oscar Lopez. He works at the University of Pittsburgh's Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. He finds it unlikely that this testing model will be available anytime soon. So if you have a relative that you would kind of want to try this out with, you're going to have to wait. They're not quite ready with it. So after all, developing usable, reliable data from long-term studies is not a quick process. Yeah, we've seen this lately, haven't we, with just vaccinations that have come out. It's hard to be completely safe if you don't have a long time to study what you're, shooting into people with these vaccinations. But this is not ready yet, but it's being worked on, so that's good news.
Yep, so for the time being, or for now, while we're waiting, blood tests are also being researched, and they are cheaper and less invasive than the current tests. So yeah, I guess this particular test will not be as painful as getting fluid from your spine.
That hurts a lot,
If it's just a regular blood test, they'll just prick you with a needle, take a blood sample, and you're good to go. Hopefully, we won't have to suffer too much from that. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜，欢迎收听今天的 English Digest。我们今天要带大家来看2篇新闻。第一篇新闻呢是有关于医学方面，如果你家中有长者的话，可以稍微注意一下哦。现在蛮多的年长者，他大概都会有一些像阿兹海默啦，或者是一些其他所谓的失智，或者是所谓的那种我们说老人痴呆那种 dementia 的这些状况嘛，那到底要怎么样才能诊断？通常好像都要有蛮多的症状，可是现在有一种新的趋势哦，有可能会藉由你的一个 writing test 写作测验去预测你以后的一个状况。好，我们来看一下第一段的，在第3句这个地方 at present， 目前呢，如果真的要测有没有这样子的一个疾病，对于要测的这个 patients 病人当中是蛮不舒服的，为什么呢？这句话当中逗点之后有一个 as， 在这里指的是连接词 because， 因为病人 they require 会需要去抽脊髓液 the drawing of spinal fluid， 那抽脊髓液就很不舒服，因为那个针不是很细，然后又很长，要从脊髓那边直接刺进去，所以就很不舒服。那有没有一些其他的替代方案呢？目前看到有2家这个药厂之间啊，制造商啊，有很强大的合作关系，一家是 IBM， 另外一家呢就是辉瑞药厂。那么他们希望看看有没有别的一个替代方案。Alternative 指的就是另外一种选择，那么他们提出的是一种 writing test， 他们觉得这样写作的方式非常的 promising 这个字出现在第5句的地方，很有前景的，指的是年轻人啊，或某一个人未来前途很光明，这个时候都可以用 promising。 那么他们其实会这样子会想提出一个 alternative， 因为这种 writing test 其实可以被应用be applied to 在一个病人的写作样本，你随时都可以写，随时都可以去测。但是呢，他们现在的一个研究方法到底是怎么样呢？我们可以直接看到第2段的地方。第2段的第1句有提到，他们现在呢是在用一种 AI model 的人工智能的一种方式，一种模型。在这句当中，在 AI model 之后 that一直到下面全部句尾的地方都是关系子句，先行词就是这个 AI model， 在关系子句当中就指的是这种人工智能的模型到底是怎么样呢？他们其实可以 predict 预测。我们可以先跳过这几个字 whether 是否健康的人可能会有发展出阿兹海默症。那么在 predict 到 whether 当中的 with 70% accuracy 这个地方则是插入的一个带有74% 的这种准确率。好，所以如果你把它遮掉的话，看到的就是预测一个人是否以后会得到阿兹海默症。那当然这样看起来是蛮乐观的，可是 在接下来这句，也就是第二段的第二句，我们看到 finds it unlikely， 但这个研发的博士呢，会觉得这件事情不太可能。unlikely 是 impossible 的意思，而 it 呢是虚受词，真正的受词是从 that 一直到句尾的地方。也就是说，这种 writing test 不可能 soon 很快的就 available 可以问世。为什么呢？最后一句话就讲了，因为毕竟这需要很长期的一些研究的过程，而且最重要的是，最后一句话当中 blood tests 现在呢已经开始有一些血液的测试的样本也在研究当中。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue with our lesson, and we're going to go to Denmark. That, of course, is a country in Europe. It's in Scandinavia. It's right there just north of Germany. Copenhagen is the capital there. And in Denmark, of course, if you describe things from Denmark, you say they are Danish. Okay, so we've got a Danish kids show. It sparks debate over how it teaches kids body positivity. So here we've got the word spark.Which usually refers to a small piece of fire. Like in your scooter, you've got a spark plug. I think it's called pragu in Taiwanese. A spark plug, 火星菜, I think, in Mandarin. But here, spark is being used as a verb. It just means you start something moving, sometimes with a little bit of fire. But in this particular case, something has started and rather quickly.
Yeah, here we're sparking debate, which means people are pretty hot over this topic. It's not something that everyone agrees on. There are probably people who are on either side of the issue. They both feel like they're right, and they'll fight to win the argument. So this show is getting people talking because of how it teaches kids body positivity.Body positivity is a phrase we use to talk about teaching kids, especially young girls, to feel proud of their bodies, whether they're, the most beautiful girl in the world or they're just average. We should be proud of our bodies. Our bodies are amazing things, but it's how the Danish TV show is doing it that is getting people talking. So we've got an award-winning Danish TV show. So obviously the people in Denmark love it. It's become really popular. I'm not surprised. It's kind of hard to turn your TV on and see lots of nudity, which is appealing to a lot of creepy people out there too. But it's an award-winning Danish TV show, so somebody thought it was really great.It sparked controversy. Notice here you can say sparked controversy, sparked debate, sparked an argument. You can have lots of things that get started that way. Controversy, of course, is when you have a topic that people feel very strongly about. They either agree with it or disagree with it. An example would be abortion. That's a very controversial subject, and it gets quite heated in public. So this is a controversy. It's a controversy online because they teach kids about body positivity in a purely Danish way, I must say. It's very Danish.
Indeed. So it's controversial. That's the adjective there, but again, it has sparked controversy online. And I guess that controversy probably comes from people outside of Denmark, maybe inside of Denmark too.
I doubt it.
But yeah, they seem to be pretty open about that kind of stuff in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And this is the name of the show, Ultra Strips Down. Okay, it allows an audience of kids aged between 12 and 13 years old to question a group of naked volunteers about their body image. Imagine that. You're a kid on a TV show and there's somebody standing on the stage stark naked or buck naked, and you can see everything and you're free to ask them questions about nudity or how they feel about their bodies.
And all of this is being televised. This is an actual TV show. So you've got kids in the audience that are in that kind of tough age. It's preteen. That's a tough age to be in. Anytime, I would say between 11 and 18, it's just a tough period of life. So they're able to ask this group of naked volunteers about their body image, how they feel about their own bodies. So they've got a show's host. His name is Yannick Show, and he argues that online, kids are already bombarded daily with unrealistic images of bodies. I could name several U.S. celebrities who love to post pictures of themselves and their bodies online, but they use a lot of filters, so they look perfect instead of how they really look in real life. It's kind of sad. So if you're looking at Facebook photos or Instagram photos and you see someone who looks absolutely perfect, they're using a filter, guys.
They certainly are, and of course we get these images all the time as if we're being attacked by bombers, by airplanes that are dropping bombs on us. That's what they do. They bombard places. They drop bombs on people. So yes, indeed, we get these all the time. And again, in this show, Ultra Strips Down, the host says that the show shows these kids what real bodies look like. But, of course, it's done with parental permission. Parental, of course, means having to do with your parents. Sometimes you do need parental permission to go on field trips with your school or something like that because you might be going someplace that the parents wouldn't want you to go to or something. So sometimes you need that permission. So, yeah, the kids get their permission from their parents before they go on the show. That seems fair enough. Now, here in the next paragraph, it says, Ultra Strips Down is extremely popular in Denmark. As we probably mentioned, it's a very popular show on TV in Denmark or on the internet. And online, however, some social media users have slammed the show as disgusting and destroying children. So if you slam something, that means you criticize something harshly. You say it's really, really bad. Politicians try to do this all the time. They try to slam their opponents.
Yeah, it's kind of a slang term these days, guys. We use it a lot just to mean criticize someone pretty harshly. They're slamming the show or criticizing the show as being disgusting and destroying children. So these are people commenting on the show outside of Denmark. So still, this is the final paragraph. Embracing nudity, as Denmark does, may actually be very beneficial. At least that's what they think. If you embrace something, you accept something wholeheartedly, you really enjoy it. If you embrace nudity, you think that being naked is just great. That's what Denmark feels, at least. And so does Sweden. As Tom said, this is kind of Scandinavian. And some folks feel it could be beneficial to the kids. Beneficial just means it would be advantageous. It's good for them. But, not everybody agrees.
That's right. And let's take a look at some research here. A comparative 2010 study of body positivity in the UK and Denmark revealed that 50% of Danish students were happy with their bodies versus 30% in the UK. So this might indicate that people in Denmark embrace nudity and therefore they are not ashamed of their bodies, at least not as much as people in the UK are. And yes, I guess for some reason people in Britain and Scotland, England, Scotland, Wales, they might be a little ashamed of their bodies. I'm not sure what the obesity rates are between these two countries, but there might be some relationship in how much a country embraces nudity.
So nonetheless, it remains an unlikely scenario that shows like Ultra Strips Down would achieve similar success in other countries. I think every country has its own culture. And I know that some countries, for example, France, they feel like the UK is very uptight about nudity. Although on UK television, you do see more nudity than you do on American television, unless you're watching HBO or Showtime of some of those cable channels that you have to pay extra for. You'll see plenty of nudity there. A scenario is one of our vocabulary words, guys, and it just means a particular situation. So it's kind of like, an outline of something, an outline of a plot, the details of a plot, the scenario. So this situation, this setting that we're talking about. So it's unlikely that shows like Ultra Strips Down would really take off in America, for example. Maybe it would on Netflix, but not on, like our normal TV channels like ABC, CBS, or NBC.
Indeed. So what do you all think here in Taiwan? Would a show like this in Taiwan be popular? Or are people still too ashamed of nudity and they'd probably turn the channel? But that's up for all of you to discuss amongst yourselves. And that brings us to the end of our discussion. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
接下来这一篇的这个新闻啊，就蛮特别的。这个节目它的名字就在文章当中，用斜体字的出现在第一段第二句话，叫做 Ultra Strips Down， 中文翻成超级脱衣。那么这样子的一个节目为什么会很红呢？因为啊，这个节目在网络上引发了很多的 controversy， 很多的争议。好，我们回过头来还是要看一下这一段。第一段的第二句话当中，这个节目它到底在做什么呢？现场有一批的 audience 观众 ，an audience of kids， 这边是先行词，后面 aged 到跳过几个字的 old， 这边可以右括号，它是一个关系子句的简化，省略的是 that are， 也就是差不多12、3岁这样青少年的这种小朋友呢，让他上节目之后。上节目在节目现场就 question 质疑或者是提问一群 naked volunteers 裸体的志愿者有关于他们的 body image 他们对于身体的意向。那么这样子当然会非常的令人感觉到有争议。那么第二段呢，就提到说，节目的主持人呢，其实会觉得说，儿童啊，其实网络上已经有很多对于身体意向比较不切实际的看法，所以他是希望呢，能够借由这个节目，向儿童展示真实的身体。可是其实，当然我们在这样子的一个利益之下，觉得是好的，但是其实网络上真的有很多负面的一些评价，比如说在第三段第二句当中，我们看到 online however 下面的动词 have slammed the show as disgusting and destroying children。 slam 这个字啊，其实就是 criticize， 就是批评抨击的意思，它后面跟着的是 as， 再加上所谓的批评的内容或者是主题大概是什么。那当然在第四段当中，我们一开始看到 still 就有 however 转折的意思。那么在这句话里面有看到一个 as Denmark does， 这里的 as 是连接词，如同好像的意思。那么当然尽管是这样，但是像丹麦那样欣然接受裸体，事实上可能是非常 beneficial 非常有益的哦。因为接下来就有提到在2010年有一个对比的实验，有关于丹麦跟英国自我体态的接受，发现丹麦的学生对自己的身体感到很满意，但是呢相较之下呢，英国比较不满意，数字分别是 50% 跟 30%。 所以最后面呢，我们看到这一句话当中提到 nevertheless， 但是不管怎么样 it remains IT 是虚主词，这个情况呢，这件事情仍然还是不太可能会出现这样的场景 scenario， 真主词出现在后面 that 到全部句尾的地方，就算在其他国家有播这样的节目，可是可能也不会像在丹麦一样那么成功哦。以上是我们今天的新闻，我是安娜，我们下次见。
That is it for our News Watch unit for the month of March. Hopefully all of your news will be good news. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
See ya.